Well, the 13 Republicans who voted for that infrastructure bill, you heard from a couple of them just a moment ago, they got an endorsement from the deeply unpopular president of the United States yesterday, who said that Republican backlash to their vote was a very bad thing. Okay, well, what about the rest of the country who doesn't like it either? The 13 GOP votes also signify why so many self-identified conservatives don't like Republican Party leadership at all. To give an easy win to the president when the Democrats were in such disarray is just bad politics. And most of the spending doesn't happen anytime soon. You won't even see much of this, if any of it, in your neighborhood before November of next year. That's just a fact. With me to talk more about this is Jonah Schulz, a Republican congressional candidate for Ohio's 16th congressional district. He's looking to replace Republican Anthony Gonzalez, who was one of those 13 voting for Biden's infrastructure bill that will only saddle us with debt. And what else will it do? Nobody's really sure. Jonah, good to see you. What do you make of it? What do you make of these 13 basically giving Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden this big win while Bernie Sanders sits back there and plays the marionette for both of them?
Well, we have to be very clear that this bill has nothing to do with infrastructure. Less than 10% of the spending in this bill actually goes towards fixing our roads and bridges. The majority of this bill is going to go towards more failed green initiatives that simply pad the pockets of lobbyists and corporate cronies. And this is the problem that we're facing. We're not only at war with the radical left, with the Democrat Party, we're at war with the establishment GOP that has shredded our Constitution, stabbed the American people in the back time and time again. We're about to spend $1.2 trillion that we don't have, blow up the budget even further, blow up inflation even further. And that's why this primary season is going to be so important, because the American people are fed up. They've had enough. Our dollar is worth less and less each and every day. And it's because of Republicans like Anthony Gonzalez that I am primarying in Ohio's 16th district that we see these problems. We're not going to solve anything until we fix the Republican Party, till we throw these rhinos out of office. And that's why we have to step up as the people, make our voice heard, and no longer tolerate these type of representatives.
So Congressman Gonzalez has been there how long? Give the folks a little bit of an education. Been there how long? How much has he decided to vote with Democrats in the past? You know, not far from where I am, I have Fred Upton, another one of the 13, who has routinely done this, routinely voted for left-leaning ideas and projects and failures. I mean, cash for clunkers comes to mind with Fred Upton, and that's true of a lot of these folks. Just really bad governance shoved down the throats of ordinary Americans. So how long has he been there? What is the story behind Congressman Gonzalez?
Well, Anthony Gonzalez has only been in office for a handful of years, but he's managed to make his mark as one of the most liberal members of the Republican Party. He voted for the unconstitutional impeachment of President Trump. He supported the lockdowns and mandates here in the state of Ohio that destroyed countless businesses and lives. He supported amnesty for 3 million illegal aliens living in the United States. And he is a living symptom of the problem that we are facing, where we have this elite political class that controls every aspect of our society, our government, our education system, our politics, our sports and entertainment, you name it. We don't have outsiders in DC, and as a result, you have individuals like Anthony Gonzalez who campaigned as an America First Trump supporter and then turned around and stabbed us in the back because he knows at the end of all this, he's going to get his cushy corporate job or his cushy lobbying position, and we, the people, are going to foot the bill. But this is the way politics are done, and nothing's going to change until we start sending outsiders to D.C. and start removing rhinos like Anthony Gonzalez.
So Ohio's 16th is an R-plus district. R-plus what? Because you're in pretty good shape, but there is redistricting going on in Ohio. I have not seen the maps there yet, but I'm sure you're very aware of what the changes may or may not be. What do you foresee for that district, what the changes could be?
Well, right now it's a safe Republican district. We have about a Republican plus 12 district that overwhelmingly supported Donald Trump. At this rate, we're hoping by the end of the month to see the new maps, figure out what it's going to be completely. But we imagine it will remain very similar to how it is, a Republican-leaning district at the very least. And given the red wave that's going to happen in 2022, we expect to keep the seat. And Anthony Gonzalez has already said that he's not going to seek re-election because of the pressure that we have put on him. And so now we have a choice in front of us of finally getting a chance to send an outsider to D.C., somebody who knows what it means to live and work in our communities. But as I said, it's not going to be good enough just to take back the House. we have to send the right kind of Republicans to DC, constitutional conservatives, because we have Republicans like Gonzalez, like Liz Cheney, like Mitt Romney. Liz Cheney, before the break, talked about how she's a conservative. Well, these conservatives can't even conserve women's bathrooms. Do you think that they're going to conserve our republic or our Constitution? They have shown no fight. They've shown no backbone. And this is our opportunity. And we have to be realistic that we don't have many opportunities to turn this around. That's why this upcoming primary season is so important.
Jonah, one last quick question. How many people are in the primary now to challenge Congressman Gonzalez? Is it just you, or is there a field of people?
There are two of us in the primary. There is myself, and then the other individual being Max Miller, who is as insider as it gets, who hasn't lived in Ohio for over 5 years until he bought a $500,000 house in the district. And this is what we always get. We get a choice between the outsider. We get a choice between the political class. And finally, we have a working class outsider who's running. And go to schultzforcongress.com to learn more about my platform and background. But this is the movement. It's not about Republican or Democrat. It's about insider versus outsider.
All right, Jonah, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciated. Good conversation. Thank you for stopping in. We'll keep an eye on that race and all the races around the country. Now, straight ahead on AVL, your COVID-19 top stories, including a lawsuit against the Biden administration over religious exemptions and the battle over vaccines. How effective are they really? The stories coming up.